Live from the Preston Highway Studios, it's 24-hour Purple People. And now here's your host, John Harper.
Well, hello, and welcome back to 24-hour Purple People. My name is John Harper. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you along for the ride today as we are all set for episode 20 of The Big Show. It's very exciting, and I'm glad to have you, and I'm glad to have this man with me. He needs no introduction, but I generally will give him one. Mr. Ken Luther. Ken, hello, sir. It's a pleasure to have you this evening. Hello.
What's up, John? We're just a bunch of dirty, nasty, rotten cheaters, aren't we?
Well, some of us are, Ken, but that is okay. We will continue to be friends. However, cheating gets you nowhere in life, and nobody's ever flopped in a soccer game anyway. So,
don't cheer for it. That's the other lesson learned, right? Don't cheer for cheating.
Don't cheer for cheating. Say no to drugs and don't cheer for cheating. Well,
neither of which we do.
What? Hey, speak for yourself. Those are both Reagan initiatives, I think.
Right.
One of them was anyway. All right. Well, if you are out there in TV land this evening, we hope that you join us in the chat this evening and say hello. Having you on the show means the world to us, and we love having conversations with each and every one of you. So chip in and chime in if you would like. So let's get started with last night at the FAM, close to home. Lynn Family Stadium last night was the host of the Women's Cup Championship 2022 against Olympic Lyonnais Reign and Racing FC. Ken, you were at the game yesterday evening. Obviously did not go the way that we wanted it to, as we see the Cup head over to Seattle area. What did you see out of last night's game with Racing and just the competition on the field last night as a whole?
Yeah, it was a competitive match for sure. OL Reign came out with some of their star power. Megan Rapinoe, Huerta, Fishlock. So they definitely were playing a win. I thought the first half we played was very good. We were pressing at the right times. We were doing some of the controlling of the ball, and we got a well-deserved goal from Kirsten Davis. Same old story happened in the second half where they will make some adjustments and changes. OL Reign did, and we lost that lead. And then we lost the game on another goal, and we just didn't have enough firepower to get a goal back by the end of the game.
Yeah, we continue to see Racing struggle in the first moments of the game. It was like 20 minutes into the game last night until they had an attacking chance, so it seemed. I think that was basically accurate. What is it with these slow starts? Is that a prep thing, you think, from the coaching standpoint? Are we just coming out and overthinking things? Are we just taking our time too much? I mean, what are you seeing happening out there?
Well, we fiddled with the formation. I think last night we were pretty much in a 4-4-2, which is certainly not my favorite formation, especially when you're going to play a pressing style. But I think it's what we have. One of the concerns I have is, we're asking and continuing to ask a lot of Jessica McDonald. She played the full 90. She just looked like she was a wreck at the end of the game. She certainly is fitter than all of us combined, but I think she does a very good job crossing the ball and providing assists. And although Davis is a very good forward, she's also young, and sometimes it's not in exactly the right spot. We're certainly missing somebody to put that ball in the net. Nadia Nadim comes to mind. She was subbed out halftime midweek, and we haven't seen her since. So I hope she is healthy and ready to meet Chicago next week.
Yeah, that's definitely concerning. Having Nadia on the bench, definitely do not want to see that. Of course, it being in this little mid-season tournament, basically kind of what it is in a lot of ways. Obviously, we want to see her back in league play, and hopefully resting her last night made sure that she was going to be back in league play. We'll see.
Yeah, but here's the thing, is that, what are the expectations for the rest of the league? And I think if she was fit, why would we not try to win this tournament to come off with something positive from the season?
So there has to be something. It's keeping
That's
her
what it
from being
sounds
out
like.
there.
I
Yeah.
mean, we don't know for sure, but it sounds like maybe there's something that we want to make sure that we're preventing an injury, a more significant injury for the rest of the season.
Talk about Kirsten Davis for a second, because she has been somewhat of uh, a silent glimmer for racing so far this year. She's played some really great soccer on the pitch. She's the first player in the history of racing to score in 3 different types of games: the Challenge Cup, the Women's Cup, and regular season. So there's your little Trivial Pursuit Racing Edition answer of the night. But she doesn't really get. She's kind of filling. I feel like she's filling those shoes of Cece Kaiser a bit for us. She's making some plays on the pitch. She's got that frame, quite a presence out there. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, Rebecca noticed this when we were kind of rewatching the games, because it's Women's Cup games and we don't have the beauty of being able to kind of look back at the game statistics. But she noticed that the amount of ground covered by Kirsten Davis is probably significantly more than a lot of other players. She moves all over the field.
Yes.
I remember, watching Premier League way back when they would give a distance on traveled by player, and they probably can still do that with their, GPS trackers and all that crap. But I think her distance traveled per game is a significant amount more than a lot of players.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's been all over the place, and she's looking good, especially lately. She's been making some things happen for racing, so that was good to see. Definitely some positives. You kind of just touched on a second ago, finding stats for the Women's Cup is not an easy task. If you go to ESPN, you're not going to find it. If you go to FOTMob, you're not going to find stats for this. You have to really dig. I actually found stuff through Racing's website, OL Reign, but even if you go to Women's Cup, their website, there's no statistics on there. It's more about the event and the entire thing as a whole and what that's all about, which we're going to talk about here in a second. I do not want to skip over the fact there was a heck of a third place game. Club America beating AC Milan 5-4. Holy cow! Were you there for that one as well?
We were. We kind of made a day of it again. One of the things that's the beauty of these kind of weird cup tournament things is you can often find pretty good deals out there on SeatGeek and things like that. So we knew the weather was potentially going to be an issue. We knew we were going to be there for 2 games. So we went ahead and rented out suite number 1. We invited all of our crazy supporter friends, and the first thing we did is rearrange the furniture in there so we could watch the Detroit Lou City game at the same time. And we started just getting beers out of the club, and we had a great time. So we were able to watch the first match as well from a fairly good viewpoint, which I think I sent you. Hopefully we'll be able to see that video later. But that match was super exciting, because it had lead changes, it had drama, it had people really playing their hearts out, and it had fans too. A lot of the Club America brought a lot of fans to the stadium, which was super cool to see.
Well, that was good. Yeah. Well, thanks for the invite, all your supporter friends.
I invited you. You were like complaining about being sick and all that stuff.
Yes,
so.
I have had a rough week, sir. I have had a rough week.
Give me a card for that. Come on.
Okay, I'll take it away. No, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it just to piss off the commentators of tonight's show. Well, it was sad to lose that cup after such an emotional roller coaster that was last year's Women's Cup, and I was happy to see Racing get to the finals game. It wasn't easy to get there. They definitely had a hard-fought game on Wednesday as well, and we saw some good stuff from Racing, and I feel like we're going in the right direction in a lot of ways. I feel like there's more work to be done, obviously. Yeah. So
let me say something about Wednesdays. I'm not sure I agree with you. I think we were well in control of the 18 Milan game, and I think we won that. I think we could have won it by more. We had 2 goals taken away. We won 2-0. And I think if we had stats, the stats would also indicate that we were well in control of the game. We prove that we're a much better team than that. Granted, they're in preseason and we're in midseason, but I am still looking for some evidence that says that there's a better league out there than NWSL, and I don't think there is one.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, and I think that this maybe showed that. Of course, with this expanded format we had this year for Women's Cup, it definitely made a difference in that aspect as well. So now, the Women's Cup, not unlike a lot of ways, well, obviously different from this, but it kind of reminds you a little bit of the summer showcase with the USL, where this was a big event, right? And this is a worldwide event and brings teams from throughout the world, but there's kind of more focus off the pitch, more focus off the competition. I'd like to kind of talk now a little bit about the Women's Cup in general. What's your feelings, Ken, on this tournament, and kind of like overall? We know that it's a big deal. We're glad to have it here in Louisville. It means a lot. But these mid-season tournaments, I mean, do you think we host this thing in 2023, just continue to host it? I mean, how do you feel about the mid-season tournament in general, especially after a Challenge Cup year that might just continue every year for the NWSL?
Yeah, well, we're going to host it. We're going to host it for at least 3 more years. I think that's what we've signed up for as a soccer club. So I think it's going to change format a little bit. I think they're going to have the finals here for the next 3 years, and they may play other games at other facilities around the country, all meeting up at our right-sized stadium here in Louisville. I like it. I think we could maybe make it more like Champions League. I think that would be cooler. The big clubs in Europe, play through a variety of cup tournaments simultaneous with their regular seasons. I think some of the anomalies you're getting are something born from what we do here in the United States, which is have our spring, summer, fall seasons, which is opposite a lot of the European clubs do. But that doesn't mean it's opposite the South American clubs. Doesn't mean it's opposite the Asian clubs. So I think it's something that we're just going to have to figure out as a soccer community. And I absolutely think we should keep playing it, because bringing in that international flavor, seeing how we match up against these teams, seeing the different styles of play, watching the Japanese team was fantastic because it's a much different style of play. So being able to have an opportunity to do that is something we want to hold on to, I think.
No, absolutely. We were very sad that we missed it, because we did like the international flavor of what the Women's Cup is. And not only that, just it is a weeks-long event. I know on Tuesday, you, on behalf of, even though if you didn't know this, on behalf of the 24-Hour Purple People, we're at a event at the Ali Center. I have some pictures here, I believe, actually.
So what you're looking at is a whole bunch of important people. All the teams are there, but you also had some ownership and some, senior figures in Soccer Holdings. You also had the people that put on the tournament. I don't know why I'm squatting there. That's a little weird. But you also had, the people who do the Women's Cup, which are coming out of Europe. You also had various groups, the Jan Winners group, which, the name escapes me, and it absolutely shouldn't.
Love Jan.
They were there. And you also had, your smattering of politicians, which is always
a smattering of politicians.
Yeah, you can't do anything at the Muhammad Ali Center without a couple politicians showing up.
Yeah.
But it's a great way to kind of meet people, especially at this from around the world, who are sharing your same interests. One of the things about this soccer tournament was that it is the world's first environmentally sustainable soccer tournament.
Yes.
About 4 months in front of the World Cup, which I think is also going to announce the same thing. And I thought that was cool. I'm all about, all that stuff. But on the other hand, I couldn't figure out how we managed to do that. And what I found out is that there's a huge, complicated math problem that you do to determine how much environmental impact a soccer tournament is going to have. And then you mitigate that by donating sums of money to companies and corporations that reduce environmental impacts through sustainable energy programs. And that's how we did it. So not only is it a great tournament, but it's also a tournament that's being, I guess you could say, carbon neutral, if I said that correctly.
I think you did. Yes, that's very interesting. I saw that. I didn't really understand exactly, as you alluded to, the giant math problem that I did not solve. But yeah, that is really cool. And you said the World Cup is also going to announce something similar to that. So good to see that we've kind of jumped ahead of the curve on that with the Women's Cup. And, we really wanted to go, me and Katie really wanted to go to that thing on Tuesday. We were very sad we didn't. But it is cool to see all the players kind of come together. It's a big thing. It's just getting started. And it's going to grow. Just like the women's game is going to grow, the NWSL is going to grow, and this thing's going to grow as well. So very exciting. And we're not going to spend too much time today on Chicago coming up, but we will say this. Next Saturday, Lynn Family Stadium, it's Phil the Fam for racing this time. And Ken, we got to get out and support racing this Saturday. Let's really show some support. We know racing's having up and down season, to say the least. So it'd be great to get a lot of people at Lynn Family Stadium next Saturday.
Yeah, a team plays better when they have fantastic support. Lavender Legion's stepping up. They're getting louder and louder every game. Mm-hmm. So I have absolute every expectation that they're going to be loud as fuck for this game as well. Hopefully I'm there because I'm coming back from the Chromatica tour in Atlanta that same day. So we'll see if I make it.
Nice. Well, Ken, one thing I will say about Red Stars, they have only scored 3 goals in their last 5 games, and the last 2 away games on the road, they put up goose eggs. So let's hope that we can take advantage of the situation. I feel like with Wang Shuang going 90-0 out there, and she's impressed me so far. I'm excited about seeing her on the pitch, and I think we're going to bring the intensity next Saturday at Lynn Family Stadium. Let's get out and support racing and make some noise for the Lavender ladies.
It's a very winnable game, so the expectation right now is we're going to win it. Maybe not by a lot, but we're going to win it.
How did your yellow card go away?
I'm good, man.
I'm pushing it back again. I don't know why I would away. All right. Well, we'll move on to somewhere up north, way up north in the great glove state. It was the first time that Louisville City met DCFC outside of the Open Cup, believe it or not. It feels like we've played this team a lot, but this is our first game ever in the USL Championship. Last night, obviously, a very hard-fought game, had some ups and downs. We're going to get to a lot of it. We have a lot to cover with this one. I would felt like they were very equally matched. And, since you got a little bit of a weather delay, you got to watch a lot of this game, Ken, in your luxury suite last evening, suite number 1.
After we rearranged the furniture, yes.
After we rearranged, yes. So, I felt like Detroit played hard-nosed soccer, very evenly matched, I felt like, in a lot of points in this game. And if you look at the stats, I mean, they beat us on possession. What was it ultimately that gave us the 1-0 victory? And don't say like the obvious answer.
Luck.
Okay.
Luck. I think it was luck. I think we got a couple lucky breaks, and I think we got a decent angle on the pen. We can talk quite a bit about whether it was a pen or not. I think everybody has already provided their 2 cents on that and come down on one side or the other. And there's continuing residual banter on Twitter all about it. But the call was made. I didn't think it was an obvious flop. I think there was contact. I think Serrano was turning and he hit the ground. I think, was it a soft penalty? Yeah, but you can call it either way. So we got the pen, we put it away. And then, we can talk quite a bit about whether the yellows and the reds were yellows and reds. We can also talk about missed chances. On our part, we had a lot of missed chances. I mean, yes. Serrano had a sitter. Wishkalusa had one shortly thereafter. Yep. I think who hit the post? Somebody hit the post. I think we had a lot of opportunity. I didn't think Detroit had a lot of opportunities. So I think talent-wise and taking our opportunities, we had the better statistics on that. But that field, that stadium, it is a tough place to go, and it is tough to kind of hold on to the ball because it's like a fight, an alley fight every time you go there.
Right. Plus, you get a lot of residual hair grease from the supporters. So,
Hair grease.
Well, what? I didn't say that.
What?
But okay, so let me just throw some stats out to you here that I've been very impressed with. First off, let me go over some of these game stats. They beat us by 1 shot, total shots, 11-10. They had 0 big chances. Okay.
Yeah.
We had 3 big chances, 2 missed. We committed more fouls than they did, 20-13. We did not draw them off sides like has been our normal MO with a lot of teams. You remember with El Paso, it was like we had like 10. They had 10 offsides against us. So there was a lot of things that we just didn't do in our normal, everyday winning streak that we're on, or our unbeaten streak that we're on. But I think you said a couple of weeks ago, Ken, that championship teams, they just find a way to win a game, right? And you're in this hostile environment in Detroit. We know Keyworth is rocking, and by all intents and we've heard their supporters are really cool and all that kind of stuff. Maybe get a bad rap, blah 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 blah. But when you go up there, you better be ready. You better be ready for a fight. I think Danny Cruz said something about, this is not about. It's not really about the quality of soccer. It's about the mentality of winning and getting the heck out of there.
Yeah, I also read this cat on Twitter. What's his name? John Morrissey. He does Back Heel, and I think he does some podcasts and stuff like that. But he does USL Tactics. So I didn't come up with this on my own because there's no possible way that I could have. But he said we played a 4-1-4-1, and I think that's an appropriate formation adjustment for the type of field and the type of team that we were playing. Is it parking the bus? No, not really, but it certainly is a defensive set, and then you don't have as much field to cover, so you can kind of let Wilson Harris kind of roam around in front, and then let our wingers attack up the wings. Tyler Gibson did heroes work back there, kind of ranging from the left and right, helping out the defense.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we are going to have 2 gentlemen out next week. Harris getting a red card, ouch, in the 94th minute. Wes Sharpie getting in the 69th, I believe. Not good. And those calls could have gone maybe either way. I think that the Sharpie one was close, but possibly could have been a makeup call. What'd you think of each red?
Yeah, so, the argument can be made on Sharpie that he was last man back. It was pretty soft. I'm biased. I recognize my bias, and I will continue to do that. But the call was made, and that and it was a straight red too. It wasn't yellow, and it was a straight red because it was last man back. Am I correct in this?
Yeah. Yes.
That's
yes.
On that. That's a pretty big loss, considering Winder. I don't know what's going on with him. I have my theory as to where he's at and what he's doing, which we can cover at a later time. But it leaves us a little bit lack of depth in the back, which I think we're going to need going down. So straight red. I can't validate this anywhere, but I think that's a 3-game suspension. I think we can appeal that, right?
Right.
3 games.
We can appeal, yes. I
think we can appeal that, and because it's pretty soft, we may or may not win, especially when you get into kind of last man back type thing. So we may be kind of fucked on that one. The second yellow on Wilson, well, the first one was stupid. It was time wasting.
Yes.
And I don't know how that would have helped at all. So he picked up a second yellow, and now he's out for a game.
Yep. It
also
sucks.
going to hurt.
Yes, that one's really going to hurt, especially against a Miami team that's had some spurts of some great play this season, although they're not all that wonderful. I want to hit you with a little bit of round 2, however, of some stats here. This is only the second loss for Detroit at home this season. In the last 10 games for Louisville City, 9 wins, 1 draw. 9 matches straight. Okay, so in 9 straight matches, we've only trailed for 10 minutes. 10 total minutes, Ken.
Yeah.
Kyle Morton with an 11th clean sheet. And this is without Brian Ownby, without Josh Winder, without Cameron Lancaster. Where the heck is he? So this is an impressive, very impressive run for Louisville City. Probably the most impressive run that I can recall. Of course, I'm paying a lot more attention than I used to being a part of this program. But it definitely is. I mean, I think it's some of the best soccer we've ever played as a team. I'll just say it like that.
I agree with you. I also think there's a lot more talent out there, and there's a lot more talented teams out there than there used to be as well. So it's kind of 2 sides to a coin. Going to Detroit's record at home, it's really hard to play there. They make it really difficult. Still can't find any stats on whether or not their field is regulation size or not. I don't think it is. But I haven't seen any measurements. I might go out there and measure it myself. Might get shot doing it, but I might try it. 60 yards, 60 yards. That's how wide it needs to be.
That's how wide it's supposed to be.
I don't think it is. Going to us, I think we play very well at home too. I'm a little concerned that we haven't trailed very much and haven't had to be put into a position where we're going to have to go back and win a game when we're trailing.
Great point.
That's something we don't know whether we can do. I believe we can do it, and I think everybody on the team believes they can do it, but we don't know.
Yeah, I actually had that same discussion talking to my mom a couple days ago. I said, this kind of reminds me of, forgive me for this analogy, but kind of reminds me of UK basketball when we were growing up, when they were dominant, and they'd have these seasons where, they won the last 20 of the regular season and they win the SEC tournament, and then they go into the NCAA tournament. And it's like, you'd almost rather have a game in there that you either lose or you almost lose, just to alleviate a little bit of that pressure off, and having that, we're getting our butts kicked right now. Now, I don't want that to happen in Louisville City necessarily. And I kind of have this thing in my head, like maybe this team is too good to even have that kind of worry. That they, just keep but it's just so weird. Just like you look at the rest of the schedule and you think, with the exception of maybe Memphis on a Friday in October, I believe, or late September it is. There's not all that many teams left on the schedule that we're not, I would say, heavy favorites against. This is just a remarkable run here by Louisville City. Danny's got to be very proud of this team, and especially taking them into Detroit last night in that environment, 7,000 strong, just going bananas up there. And a lot of Louisville City fans, so mad props. I mean, there was probably 50 Louisville City fans at that game that made the travel up north. So clap for you guys. Excellent work.
Yeah, we travel well. I think, that's something we've always prided ourselves on. Prided, is that a word? I don't think so. Anyway,
Sure.
You know what I mean? We've always been proud about our ability to travel fairly well in comparison to a lot of other teams. I think Detroit travels well too. It's kind of sad that we're going to play them next on a Wednesday.
Yep.
So they're going to be kind of limited in who they can bring. But if it was on a weekend, I think they'd bring numbers, which is awesome, which is cool. And we welcome them with open arms. We got a lot of games at the end of the season. I think the announcers last night on ESPN Plus, as much criticism as we've given for a few words that they said, they also had some good things to say when you were listening to them. And one of them was 6 games in 22 days or something like that we got coming up. And that's a lot on the legs, especially when you got guys out for red cards.
Yep. We're about to get to those great commentators here in just a moment. I do want to circle back to the chat. Rebecca said, Corbin Bones' mustache is way better than Bryant's mustache. The commentators were all about that mustache last night.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He's got that Tom Selleck thing going.
He does.
It's pretty
Definitely.
nifty.
A little Miami Vice action all the way up north. Yeah, Katie's saying the same thing about Wednesday in that home game against Detroit. It's going to be a tough little run of games here. The schedule definitely starts. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, and we'll talk about that with Table Talk at the end of this program. But we're going to move on to a little bit of this more of a fun topic. Well, not really a fun topic, I guess. But last night, it's kind of fun. Last night, the talk of the Twitter world and the social media world was the color commentator for Detroit. Now, this guy, I had his name. Where did his name? John something.
Yeah, I got it somewhere too.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to read off some of John's. He's got a good first name. I'm going to read off a few of these. I'm just going to read them. Okay. I actually wrote them down. I'm going to read them off. Here it goes. If I had some dramatic music, this would be a great place for it. I don't know if I agree with that. I have to see a replay. I don't agree with that at all. Okay. Now, the thing
That's
about that
fine.
one, okay. Let me just read it back. This is literally how it went. There's no pause here. I don't know if I agree with that. I'll have to see replay. I don't agree with that at all. There has not been a replay. Okay.
Okay. So,
All right.
I mean, yeah. I'm with you. I don't want to defend this guy. He actually they both had pretty good things to say all the way up to this point.
Yeah.
Honestly. They were homers.
Don't worry. I'm not going to bury him. All right. This is just for debate. Okay. Oh no, that's a flop. Oh, good Lord. That's horrible. That's abysmal. I've been watching soccer for nigh on 20 years. Now, nigh on, I had to look this up. I thought maybe that was Greek for like infinity or something like that. But nigh on is actually when you don't know how many years you've been watching soccer. You're not really sure. And you just make up a number. 20. So, be ashamed of yourself, sir, and be ashamed of yourself, Matt Thompson. Now, that's the referee. By the way, that is a former USL Referee of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably shouldn't have said that.
Yep. That's theft, and that's bad.
Well, theft is bad. It's not necessarily
theft is
bad.
bad. I promise I'm not burying this guy.
Yet.
Upon
you got a shovel in your hand.
Here comes the fun one. Upon showing the Louisville City faithful, yeah, go ahead. Imagine those Louisville City fans cheering their guy blatantly cheating. Okay,
yeah,
now
I just don't see that. I didn't see that.
This is the end of my quotes about this gentleman. Yeah, that's him. Kruger, thank you very much, Rebecca. You play to win the game. Like the great Herman Edwards said, you play to win the game. In soccer, if you've been watching soccer for nigh on 20 years, you probably have noticed that people do occasionally sell fouls, especially in the box, because when in the box and fouled, you might get a penalty kick. Okay? So, and then the other point I wanted to kind of make is, I think when you're watching the game live, to say the fans are cheering for somebody blatantly cheating, first off, that's just so ridiculous. But secondly, when you're watching a game live, it's not like you're going to, in a blink of an eye from whatever angle. Now, that was down by the Louisville City supporters, but nevertheless, it's like, you can't just be like, look at them cheering for the cheater. Now, I will say this, this John Kruger individual, John Kruger, something like that. He, I went on to his Twitter and read a little bit, and he was saying stuff like, I'm the first to praise referees when they do a great job. And he actually did kind of circle back to, like immediately after there was another call, and he said, that was a good call. But there's a difference between being a homer commentator. We get a little homer sometimes with Devin Kerr and Mike Watts, but you never feel it's to this level. It was kind of, and I have to remember to use that WBKR app or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
So
I can't watch the games again on that. I have to watch the game. If I want to watch the game again, I have to watch it on ESPN. So I really couldn't get good sound in the last night. So I had to watch it on ESPN and listen to them. I didn't think they were all that bad. I actually thought they had some pretty good and interesting things to say throughout the match. He had a momentary incident of diarrhea of the mouth. It happens. And he is obviously a DCFC fan, and he forgot himself. And he's probably been trying to back it up ever since.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. And he seemed like a cool guy from what I read about him and stuff. And yeah, faithful to your team. Hey, if somebody was, if the shoe was on the other foot and that was a Louisville City situation and we had a commentator losing their mind because of what we thought was a bad call, we of course would be going, that was a bad call, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, but it is part of the game. But it was very over the top. My jaw almost dropped at the situation about look at them cheering for the blatant cheating. I was just like, okay, oh man. But everybody kind of lost their minds over it.
Blatant cheaters. Rah, rah.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a chant in there somewhere.
Yeah. So, oh well, it's no big deal. It was just
it adds the lore and the spice of a rivalry, man. I actually think it's probably better for our long-term rivalry with Detroit than some sort of boring ass game. The problem about going to Detroit is really hard to fucking score. So we're gonna take those opportunities when we can get them, because you're playing on a clusterfuck of a field that they got. Oh yeah. Hey, we can get a plan and win the game on it. I'll take that every day.
Yeah, every time they were taking a corner kick, I thought that they were taking it from the locker room or something. It was like a weird brick wall down there. I was like, what's going on? Where are they taking this corner from?
When you sit on the bench, if you're sitting on the home or the visitor's bench, there can't be more than 2 feet before you're actually on the touchline. Right there. There's no space.
Yeah, Aaron chimed in and said, someday we'll have a game against them that's decided in open play. One of these days. Poor Detroit.
That's true. We haven't had any games that have been decided in open play, have they? The first time we played them, we scored in extra time.
Yep.
Right. Because
they both went to PKs, didn't they?
Did we go to PKs? No, I think we scored.
The last time.
Was that Bellarmine?
Yeah, no. That went to PKs too, I think, didn't it?
I don't think so, but it's blurry. That was many, many years ago. And then the second one was a PKs, and this one was a PK. So that's a great point. Next Wednesday.
I mean, it's just crazy. Just crazy. Did you notice the nobody gives a something about Louisville banner?
No.
I thought that was great. I was like,
nobody gives a what? Yet? Oh, Rebecca noticed that. I don't even read the banner.
I don't even know what it said, but I was just like, woohoo! We made the big time. Made the big time. Well, no, like I said last week, Carl was telling me a little bit, saying that the supporters up there were really, really cool, buying drinks, and they were having a good time. So we obviously give them shit, but that's because we like that shit-giving camaraderie between these teams. And, it's funny, a lot of people are already calling this a rivalry game. Matt Browning, I think it was, on Twitter was saying that he's got them in our top 3 rivals, which I can't do that for a first year in the league team. I can't say you're a rival of ours, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it depends on how you measure rivalry. If you measure rivalry by spiciness of Twitter content, then Detroit's probably a rival with everybody because they're just complete shitheads on Twitter. But that's they kind of wear that on their sleeve, and that's what they're all about. I think it's kind of limiting. I've had banter all day about, what are the factors that are kind of limiting Detroit's growth. I think Keyworth Stadium is a terrible place to play soccer. And it's a terrible place to think you're going to get any more fans that you're going to get right now. Yeah, I mean, you can't get a beer, you can't get food. The whole place is falling down. Well, still not regulation size. You can't build. There's nowhere to go. And Detroit is a really big city, so I think they can do a lot more with their club, but they're limited.
Yeah. At one point, I know they were talking about trying to put a stadium out in Pontiac. At close to where the Silverdome was. They actually were thinking about trying to do something with the Silverdome, like, take the dome out, renovate it somehow, but I think they ended up demolishing the whole thing. But they still got a lot of land out there, obviously. So let's see. That stadium, Keyworth, was built in the 1930s. It was actually a government project, part of the rebuilding, with the Tennessee Valley Authority time period, Eisenhower, that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
It's also not super easy to get to. You know,
I've
you
heard
have
that,
to
yes.
you have to drive through, you know, some parts of the city that just, you know, that it's not, you don't have great highways. I would be super surprised if you had any type of public transportation going to that stadium. It's just it worked for them. It got them to where they are right now. But if they have any expectations of moving up, I think they're going to have to rethink that.
Rebecca says our reply banner should be everyone gives a crap or whatever beep about Louisville. I like that. That's good. That's good.
They probably just switched the city. Whoever they're playing, they just switched the name. They paint over and put a new name.
That was one last thing I wanted to say is they just kept saying city, and I wanted to be like the commentators last night. I'm like, guys, we're both cities. You got to call somebody something like DCFC or I don't know. I was like, which city?
Yeah. Well, this is probably the larger issue is at some point ESPN is going to have to take over broadcasting and commentators on the games. Right now it's to save money, I assume. It's default to whoever the club is providing to provide commentary on the game. So you're going to get homers almost every time unless a club like we do goes out and hires extra people, hires your own homers like Devin Kerr to call a game. But if you watch, you know, big games in Europe and things like that, the commentators are coming from NBC or whoever happens to be. So at some point, we're going to have to make that jump to try to get more objective, less biased commentators.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think the league has maybe got to look into other things as they go along. VAR is heavily needed as well. I think I'd rather spend the money on VAR. Excuse me. But hey, I got a yellow card. Katie is in control of my yellow cards this evening.
Good.
No, it's not good.
No, that's objective and unbiased.
Yeah, cheater too.
Hopefully you don't get a red because then I got to talk the whole time and that'll be
Yeah, she knows not to do that to you. I do have some good news. Brian Obi not expected to miss at all. Should be back at Miami next Saturday. Winder
was he hurt or resting?
Well, I don't think he was resting. So, but my sources tell me he will be back at Miami.
Yeah, I don't even think Detroit, the field, and it really facilitates his strength very well. And you know it's going to be a bar fight every time you go there. So yeah. I think that was a super smart call on rostering by Cruz.
Absolutely. And Cruz did some great halftime adjustments in that game as well. But we can move on. We want to talk a little bit about, since we're heading into this time of the year, we want to talk a little bit about, in the show a little bit here on Table Talk. Ken, I don't think you've been around for Table Talk, but it goes a little something like this.
It's Table Talk. Bop.
And there's explosions and all sorts of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's that cost us like $3, that little explosion there. Yeah. So here we go, Ken. Here is the table in all its glory. Louisville City is at the top of that bad boy as expected. Tell me what you see on here. Tell me let's just go through this. What is your biggest surprise on this table?
Detroit, honestly, I think they are definitely punching above their weight. They are plummeting in the stands, which I totally anticipated. When they started the season, they had, I don't know, 15, 12, 2 players rostered or something like that. And I just didn't think they had the talent to see through a whole season, including a U.S. Open Cup run. Mm-hmm. We are seeing that now. They played with passion and heart and all those things that, describe Detroit. But now the reality is they had to rest players on Wednesday, which they got a win out of. So that was lucky. But then they're starting to take losses and draws more often. So my biggest surprise right now is Detroit barely in the playoffs. My second biggest surprise is Indy continues to suck.
That to me has got to be, it's got to be the biggest surprise in the East is Indy 11. nobody thought they would be where they're at right now at this point. And you want to talk about a thing, people talk about that as a rivalry. There is no rivalry with Indy 11 right now because they are just not remotely close to our level, not to be like talking mad shit about them. But they have just not, they've just fallen off the deep end, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see Memphis is number 2. When I saw them open the season, I think they lost, but they look really well organized, as they do. They have very good coaching, so I figured they were going to do fairly well. Maybe they're doing a little bit better than I thought they were going to do, but I think they have earned their second spot there. We're right where we want to be.
I'm currently circling. I feel like that going into the postseason, I think it might stay like this. I think it might stay with Memphis and Louisville. Oop. Yeah. I know that obviously a lot of the experience comes down to, so I'll go back to our little table here. A lot of it comes down to experience when it comes to the postseason, having people that have been there before. Memphis has not been there before. They have not been that deep in the postseason, so it should be very interesting to see. But they have played very impressive soccer. Now, that being said, on Saturday, they got beat by a team that I'd also say you better look out for, and that's Birmingham Legion. Birmingham has played very well, and they took it to Memphis at Memphis, which has been a hard challenge for a lot of teams in the USL. And, Memphis dominated that game in possession, but Birmingham found a way to win. And not only that, but they found a way to win big, winning 4-2. They did have a penalty in that one as well. But I would look out for Memphis sitting there in the 4th position. And, of course, you never can sleep on Pittsburgh. And we'll be seeing that Miami FC team next Saturday at Miami. Anything on Miami while we're talking about it right now, Ken?
Yeah, they're a dangerous team. They have some people that we are familiar with. They also have a very good goalkeeper, a guy by the name of Sparrow, not Jack, but last name Sparrow. What I thought was interesting on him is he's tied for clean sheets with Kyle Morton at 11. But he has almost twice as many saves, which I think says a lot more about him as a goalkeeper. So tells me that his front line or his defensive line is maybe allowing more shots on him, but he's able to save them. Obviously I haven't seen all the 50 some odd shots that he received. Are they been easy saves or hard saves? But he has made them and maintained 11 clean sheets. They got people like Speedy Williams. It's going to cause all kinds of havoc for us. So I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. Super interesting to see what our lineup is going to be going into that game, especially with our defensive woes now that we have Wes Sharpie out on cards. Hopefully we'll have Superstar Winder back from what I think are his travels through Europe to come play for us again.
Superstar. Yeah, I hope so too. Don't forget about that one guy. What's his name? Paco Craig, sitting down there in Miami.
There's Paco. He's I name a cat after him. He's been one of my favorite players through the ages. I don't know how well he's playing this year because I haven't seen a lot of his games, but he certainly has a starting role on that team. And I think they've been doing very well. They're at 40 points on the season, got lots of wins, beat some big-time teams, and we are going to their house, playing in their humidity. It's gonna be a match.
Yeah, it is gonna be a match. Miami has played very well. Like I said earlier, they've been played very well off and on. They haven't really been a consistent club, but they are a dangerous club. And the East is pretty tight in a lot of ways. We have had a little bit of separation at the top of the table with the separation between us and Memphis. Now, the West is a completely different animal, as we will bring up the West. I watched a little Western Conference action last night, This was the tell, and kind of still is, Ken, the tell of San Antonio versus the world, or versus the West at least. What do you see out West? Any big surprises there? Landon Donovan's club doing pretty good up there in second.
Yeah, not surprised that Landon Donovan's club, also known as San Diego Loyal, doing well. They have lots of talent. Landon Donovan has a lot of people behind him putting that team together. I'm a little bit surprised San Antonio is as good as they are, but when you kind of look at what they have on the team, the surprise lessens. Colorado Springs, also good.
Colorado swings.
Yes. Yeah. But I think the biggest surprise by everyone is Phoenix Rising, who just exercised some sort of option with their coach or something like that. I don't understand what happened there, but it seems to have caused all kinds of Twitter drama. I'm surprised that they are not as good as they are. The thing about the West, though, is that they're especially around the middle, they're bunched up. In the East, I think we got our top 7. There's 8 points separation between Detroit and Tulsa. I don't think that's going to change. I think the talent is on the 7 teams in the East that they're going to stay in place. The West, on the other hand, it's a Wild West shootout. It's going to be super interesting because the worst team has 27 points, and the playoff line right now is at 34. So anything can happen.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be, like you said, the Wild West. It's going to come down to, it's going to be some crazy games out there. I love watching some of these West teams. Obviously, watching Vegas is a blast because you never know. There might be a helicopter drop in during the game with money. Yeah, I mean, who knows?
That you catch in your hot tub that you're sitting on the side of the field in a hot tub getting money.
Yeah. Yep, you could do that as well. Colorado Springs, they started off hot. We're in first place for a while until San Antonio took over that spot. We watched their game last night after the women's cup game went off, and they're a fun team to watch. And boy, they have some dangerous weapons on that team. Great support in Colorado Springs. That's a team that I look to when the playoffs come around to really put their best foot forward. We'll see, but I'm glad that we're getting, now that the COVID play years are over, we're getting to see these teams more. Of course, we're going to be hosting Sac Republic right before their Open Cup game. Any word on the moving of that game? A lot of people have been saying, because Orlando City is getting some special treatment from the MLS, that maybe we should do the same. I'm assuming that's not a Louisville City decision. Might just be a league decision.
No. It's a USL decision, probably more complex than we could imagine, especially when you look at how is that game going to be made up, where are you going to put it. Louisville City, certainly from a league perspective and from a fan of the league perspective, I'd like to see the game moved. From a Louisville City perspective, if we have to move the game into the end of our schedule and jam it up even more than it already is, I'm a little bit more reticent to say we should move the game. I think it's not surprising, but shitty of MLS to move their Orlando game. So there's not a whole lot we can do that. They can do whatever the fuck they want. But it's not surprising that the MLS is maybe getting a little bit nervous about the rise of the USL.
Oh, man, I tell you what, everybody better be rooting for Sacramento. I don't care. Say what you want. I'm going to be all about it. Go Sac Republic in that game for sure. But Absolutely. Then you're going to get crushed at Lynn Family Stadium. Yay.
Just start your academy. Just bring your academy. Let all your other players rest. Don't even fly them out.
Yeah. So thoughts by anybody who would like to chime in on the table in the chat. We appreciate everybody being a part of the chat this evening. Let us know if you have any thoughts on the table.
I tell you what, I think the best team right now is San Diego. I think if I were to make a bet on who is the team that's going to come out of the West right now on current form, I think it's San Diego is going to come out. I think they'll beat San Antonio. And if we come out on top, then that's who we'll play.
Aaron,
which is cool. We got more points than that.
Aaron chimed in that the banner that Detroit had was actually kind of like a the fact that we had them take down a banner, they were kind of like getting back at us with that banner. So,
We had them take down a banner. I'm lost.
yeah, something happened. I don't know.
Banner wars.
Let me see here. The banner, they were about getting censored last time we played them in the Open Cup
I was about the fuck stuff.
in the IIRC.
Nope.
Nope. We just like froze for a second. Colorado Springs. Okay, wait a minute. The team kept making them censor more of the banner. They use it for multiple teams. Now I
Yeah.
got you, Aaron. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody's fucked except us, right?
Yeah, they got their-
we're cool.
Well, yeah. Well, I remember that now. Yeah. So the team was not very happy about them having the F word on shirts and stuff like that. I mean, it's cool.
It's cool, but I tell you what, they get a fine. They get fines from it.
It's a joke. If you need to have the F word on your shirt to be cool, like I'm saying F word because now you know me, Ken, at the tailgate, it's gonna be like being a sailor around, but I don't have to, it's not like I'm doing it to be like, check this out.
I'm cool.
I love okay, I'm not gonna rag on Detroit, but I love their little chants that are like, shake your right arm, then you shake your left arm, you do a little twirl, and then you get out your phone and turn on your light.
No, what that they do that at the end of the game, right? They turn on all their phone lights or something like that. I was like,
That
what
part's not bad. That's kind of cool. But there's another chant they do. It's like I've seen it at other teams do it too. But it's just like this part of the song's right arm, this part of the song's left arm. I'm like I can't remember this. I can't remember this.
We're just going too hard. We can't do that.
Yeah.
Too complicated.
We're 2 points out of the overall first with a game in hand. I like that, Aaron. That's good. Yeah. This has been fun, Ken. I thank you for being a part of the 20th episode. As a reward for being part of this 20th episdsode, Ken,
You told me it was the 420 episode.
Oh, that's why you're so off your game. No, I'm just kidding.
Dang it. It's not. Oh.
I mean, it could be, I guess. It could always be the 420 episode. I had a clever tweet with 420 included. I decided not to do it.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but as a reward for being on episode 20, I am going to finally cut you in the intro of the episode. So you will be in episode 21's intro, even if you're not on the show. One thing we talked about, folks. Yeah. Party. I'm going to red card you if you turn on it. All right. One thing we talked about before was having like multiple people part of the show. So, if you have anybody out there or you yourself want to like chime in, be a part of the show sometime, we'd like to have multiple panelists because when we first started launching, we thought about thank you guys. Hey, while I'm thinking about it, please hit the like button on YouTube. That gets us whatever. We don't even understand the algorithms or whatever the hell they are. But you're red carded. What was I saying? Yes. So when we first launched the show, we talked about it kind of being like, in a lot of ways, like your typical ESPN talk shows, like afternoon shows where you do have revolving people involved. So that's something we want to continue to do and expand. We're always looking for ways to get people more involved. We say that, we're not saying please come join us in the live chat because we want more viewers. I mean, obviously we would love to have more viewers. We're saying it because one of the best parts of this is we love communicating with you guys. Thank you, John, very much. Appreciate that. We love communicating with you guys, though, and having a little back and forth with the chat. So we really appreciate you guys being here. It means a lot to us. But, we're always looking to expand and looking for ideas. Direct message us through Facebook or Twitter or whatever if you've got an idea for the show. We just want to improve the show, however. We're not, like, stuck in our ways. We want to just make it fun for you guys, make it fun for us. This is just all about the Purple family and all about the teams that we love. We don't take this very or we don't take this too seriously. We would love to continue to grow as a channel, and we have goals in mind of what stuff we want to do, but we're just having fun. I love this kind of stuff. I love producing this kind of stuff. I'm obviously not an expert at the game, but when I get to be in this little square right here, this square, I have to at least have some notes. So I have to at least know the topics, Ken.
And he doesn't tell me the topics until we start the show. So
That is not even remotely true. Okay, spoiler alert. We talk about the games that happened and the games that are going to happen. That's a gimme. So,
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
all right. Well, Ken, I think we're going to wrap it up this evening. Once again, I remember to blow the whistle today. Once again, we want to thank you for being a part of 24-Hour Purple People, episode number 20. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel for more ridiculous and informative purple content. Don't forget that every Wednesday we will have a podcast or some other form of audio out there in the world, Spotify or something. Just Google it. You'll find it eventually. And don't forget to follow us on all the socials, all that good stuff. We have an Instagram now. We don't know how to use it, but we do have it. So tell all the youngins in the family to follow us on the Instagram. Somebody recommended we get a TikTok. I'm really bad. I always put circles straight down, and they always do the X's across. I'm horrible at that game, so we're not going to be doing TikTok right now. But
That was
maybe
terrible, man. You need to rank card yourself for that.
maybe in the future. Okay, we love you guys. We'll see you next time. For Ken Luther, I'm John Harper. Thanks for watching, everybody. We love you, Purple Fam. And good night from Louisville.
Yeah. Peace. Woo. Down goes John.